Hi everyone, this is Jim Rizoli here, and you are seeing me on Ashland Cable TV, and the producer of this show was actually Diane King, and she was gracious enough to have me on her show because AFTV in Framingham has a problem with me, and they have been censoring me on their show, and they would not permit me to be on their show, even though I'm running as a male candidate, as a write-in candidate for the male election in September, and maybe even November too. I don't see why not. And we have to just deal with it. These people in Framingham have some issues. They are run by, I hate to say this, a group of communist sympathizers that have a problem with people like myself, particularly because there's not many people like me doing what I'm doing, trying to get on TV to get my thoughts across on any topic anymore, because I find that what's happened in the world today on YouTube and all the video sites and media sites, they are banning people like myself that you would consider alt-right, whereas the people that are the alt-left people are the ones that run everything, and they are the ones that censor everything that's conservative in nature, like what I have to say. So I wanted to talk to you about the first mayoral debate that happened in Framingham. Okay, and I'm going to just show you a couple things here in the Metro West News. But they had the mayoral debate last night, the first one anyway. I guess there's going to be several of them. Right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people that are running for mayor in Framingham. So we have running for mayor in Framingham, 7 people. We have from the left, Mark Tilden, Dubra Sen, John Stefanini, Ben Neves Grigg, Priscilla Souza, Yvonne Spicer, and Joshua Horrigan. So those are the names of the people that are running for mayor in Framingham. Now, they had some sort of a debate. I didn't go to the debate. These things would be horribly boring to go to. But, I did read on the Metro West Daily News some parts of the debate. And I would like to, cover some of these points as I go on. Now, particularly some of the things that they talked about, some of the questions. And one of the topics of conversation that came up was sanctuary cities, and the article says it's a question that divides the mayoral candidates. And there's there they are there in that picture there. Now let's move down and let's find out exactly what they said in the debate. And I will start with Priscilla Souza. She's a native of Brazil, and she basically said she lived in a time she lived for a time in Framingham as an undocumented immigrant. Said the move would make Framingham a target of federal government, which has threatened to cut funding for sanctuary cities. So this is hard to believe that this girl actually, she's probably came under the DACA program. That is the program that funds, not funds, but allowed the illegal immigrants to come into this country. And of course now she's looking back because somehow she became an American citizen through some process, I really don't know. And she says there's no protection. I'm more in favor of us having some policy here working with our local law enforcement. So she doesn't really want to deal with the federal government on the issue, or call Framingham a sanctuary city, because this might be a problem with the federal government. Okay, Framingham might have a problem if they are a sanctuary city, maybe not getting this funding for certain things. And you're going to see that this will come up again with the other candidates here also. Now notice Yvonne Spicer. She's a long-time Framingham teacher, and she does something at the Museum of Science in Boston, and she said that the sanctuary label would be harmful also, and she wants to make sure she's keeping everyone safe. And part of keeping everyone safe, she says, is not necessarily having people feel scared and raising the fear that is happening right now today. Well, again, Yvonne Spicer, let's really think about for what this is worth here. The reason why some people have fear is because they're here illegally and they broke the law. I mean, that's simple as I can say it. And they're always going to be looking over the shoulder, especially knowing that if they came here illegally, the federal government has a perfect right to pick them up and get rid of them. Now, this seems to be what they're trying to tout here, out to people, making it look like that the federal government is coming after these people because they didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's not true. They did plenty of wrong. They came in the country illegally, which is against the law. So Yvonne Spicer is a sanctuary city supporter, but she doesn't want to put the label on the town because it might cause some problems too. How about John Stefanini? He said he supports the Safe Communities Act, and he has no problem with making Massachusetts a sanctuary state, but wouldn't move to embrace the label with Framingham borders alone. Stefanini said the community doesn't need labels or expensive housing or legal bills to protect residents in workplaces, homes, or houses of worship. So he basically is a supporter of sanctuary cities, but again, he doesn't seem like he wants to take on the term sanctuary city because, you know, of these reasons here. I don't know, I have a problem with that too, because John Stefanini is a lawyer, and you think he would know better, that he would know that these people, that the sanctuary city policy protects people that have broken the law, but they don't seem to understand that you have to separate the issues here, and they're not separating the issues here. The next person running for office is Benjamin Neves Gregg. Now, he has an interesting background because he actually married you know, a Brazilian, or a woman that has a Brazilian heritage. And he said that he would draw the line at shielding people accused of crimes, but other than that, medical care, police sources, those things should be available to all residents regardless of nationality. Now, that's an interesting point. I mean, half of the thing he said was agreeable to me. He says that if people commit crimes, they, you know, should be prosecuted. Basically, that's what he's saying there. But notice what he says here about they should get or have access to medical care, police sources, and everything else that's available to all the other residents. I find that disturbing because when you really think about that situation, there are American citizens that aren't able to get certain medical care today and a lot of other services, but yet he's making it sound like the illegal immigrants that are being protected by the sanctuary city policy, they should get these other things, these benefits. So I do know personally that in the healthcare end of it anyway, the illegal immigrants are getting and signing up for health care and getting it, especially if they have children. And the way they're doing this, I would imagine, is they have false social security numbers, because that's the only way you can get on Medicaid or Medicare in this country. You have to have a social security number, and it seems like that's what's happening with these people. They are using false ones. Now, the only problem is that these people that are using these false social security numbers, they're not getting checked. So the federal government is kind of dropping the ball here because they're not checking to find out who these social security numbers belong to. Are they really the person that they saying are signing up for the health care and on these benefits? And believe me, they get a lot of benefits, folks. The American citizens have to really try and work very hard to try to get on some of these benefits, but these people are getting a lot of benefits. So again, I have a problem with that. All right, let's move on to Dubra Sen. Now, Dubra Sen is an interesting fellow. I believe he is, it says here anyway, he's a social justice activist, and he's from the tech industry. And he says, sanctuary cities don't protect criminals or fugitives. And he said also that California judges recently ruled that federal funding cannot be withheld from sanctuary cities. So he's worried about that, okay? But I do know in the first interview he had with the Metro West News, he did say that the sanctuary city policy should be open to illegal immigrants and legal immigrants. So he basically is saying that the illegal immigrants, you know, should come here and have no problem coming here, should be protected. So again, these are the people that some people want to vote in office here. That's up to you. How about Framingham lawyer Mark Tilden? Now he is a lawyer now, and you think he would know better, but no, he said he backs the sanctuary city policies because he doesn't want to see the immigrants turned over to the Immigration Customs Enforcement, which is ICE. And here's a man who's a lawyer. You would think he would know better, but being a lawyer these days, I guess rule of law does not apply to lawyers. They kind of look at, well, whatever they think is nice, let's apply to them. And he says, you know, respecting, you know, his experience in the local courts anyway, that the entire community appears to be under siege with ICE agents showing up at courthouses, arresting people accused of minor offenses. Well, it's really not minor offenses. You know, some of these people are being picked up because of driving offenses. Now, if you or I drove without a license or insurance, we would be arrested too. And I guess he's worried that illegal immigrants should be able to drive without licenses and insurance, and they shouldn't have any problems, right? So he's there to protect the illegal immigrants, whereas myself and other law-abiding people in this town want to see the immigration laws enforced and regular laws from just the local police situation enforced too, because the immigrants seem like they can get away with anything they want these days, driving without licenses, driving without insurance. They go to court, they only have to pay, you know, a couple $100 fine, and then they can drive away from the court, again with no license and no insurance, and nobody's going to check them. The police in Framingham don't care. Nobody cares. So the illegal immigrants seem like they have a lot of rights, and they can get away with a lot of things that we Americans can't do. Again, these are the type of people that are running for office. These are the type of people, Mark Tilden, a lawyer, you think he would know better and support a rule of law, but he doesn't support rule of law at all. All right, next candidate is Joshua Horrigan, and he says he takes issue with the policies used by other sanctuary communities. And let's see, actually he really didn't give an answer here. He did not specify his objections. He just said he's open to taking the very best of sanctuary cities and adding our own spin to it, whatever that means. I really think he's against it, but he just doesn't want to say it because he would lose a lot of votes from the liberal loony bird community in Framingham, because most of the town, you know, they are for the illegal immigrants, and he doesn't want to lose votes. So that's probably why he actually said that. But I really think that deep down in his heart he's a patriot, but he just wants to play the game like everybody else is playing the game. So, you know, that pretty much was it in regards to what you know, some of these folks said. But let's just really sum it up, all right? Because here's what I got out of it as I read the paper. They all are for sanctuary cities, okay? Some of them don't want to have a label on the town as saying it's a sanctuary city because they don't want to lose federal funding if Trump pulls federal funding because of being or harboring the illegal immigrants. Now, that's really, really a disingenuous way of looking at things if you ask me. So you have these people that are running for mayor. Can you imagine these people running for mayor are going to support illegal immigration in Framingham? So that's a problem. Now, another thing I noticed in the debate, none of these folks talked about the financial aspect of the town and what's going on there. No one talked about what we're spending, how much debt we have as a town. We have tens of millions of dollars in debt. And we're actually building this debt up every year, borrowing money, borrowing money. We're going to need money for new schools, and the reason why we need money for new schools is because of the illegal immigrant situation. The illegal immigrants are bringing their children into the school system, and right now, between young ones and older ones, between the little kids in kindergarten all the way up to high school, there is approximately 200,000 English language learners in the town. So that's a big deal. I mean, that's a lot of people, and if you multiply this times 2,000 times $16,000 it costs to educate the children of illegal immigrants, that is a huge amount of money. You're talking over $30 million just to educate the children of illegal immigrants. So if that's something that you want to be part of and support, then our bills are going to go up. So again, none of these people talk about the finances of the town, the condition of our town in paying these finances. I know for myself, my tax bill just went up, I think $600 to $800 or whatever it was, and that's just the beginning. Okay, that's just the beginning. My water bill has gone up tremendously. It's probably tripled. So what do we do in a situation like this, that we have a town that has uncontrolled spending, and it hasn't even started? Because like I said, once we get into the school situation that we got to build new schools, and we have to accommodate more of the children of the illegals here, that is going to really take some serious money. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody cares about that. I don't know. It's a real horrible situation, and our taxes are going to go up. There's no way that these people that are running for mayor now are going to be able to lower our taxes, because of the fact that the infrastructure, they're fixing the roads, they're fixing the pipes in the streets, they're borrowing money, millions and millions of dollars to do this, and it has to be paid back at some point in time. Now, the older folks like myself, we are on budgets, we're in Social Security, whatever. So it does affect us, there's no doubt about it. But I'll be honest with you, the people that the tax situation is going to affect even more will be the younger people now that are working, because by the time they are my age, in the middle 60s, 70s, they're going to be spending a lot of money. Okay, so it's going to come back and bite them in the butt at that point in time, isn't it? But they don't look at it now. They look at it like we have a free amount of money we can spend. And they are just, these young kids today have no value of money. And they just think, well, just keep borrowing the money, and we're going to pay the bills. Well, yeah, that's true, but you have to understand that at some point in time, the bills have to be paid too. And the only way you can pay the bills is you have to increase taxes. So at some point in time, their generation is going to be hit harder than we are, all right? And it's sad to see that that's going to happen. So, as I watch the debates, it really is discouraging to see that these people that are running for office, they really don't have the American citizen in mind here to help them. They really don't. They want to be nice to everybody. They want to be nice to the illegal immigrants coming here, but they don't understand that someone has to pay the bill that these people incur, because of the fact that a lot of these people don't pay into the system to pay bills. Some people say, oh no, they're paying their Social Security, they're paying this, and I don't believe it. I think the illegal immigrants actually take more out of the system than they put in, because again, if they say what they say, that they don't make much money, they couldn't be putting much money into the system. You understand how that works? And yet when you think about that, they get, in some cases, free housing, some cases they get free medical, maybe food stamps, they get on the food stamps situation. You go to Market Basket and you see the people, the immigrants going through the lines in the Market Basket, filling up their baskets. They're getting food stamps. And what do you think they're getting those food stamps? Well, they're on the programs that they really shouldn't be on because of the fact that they're illegal. But no one really cares, and no one's going to do anything about it. So as we go on here, all the towns around us are going to be affected by the illegal immigrants. Ashland, if you think that you're not going to be affected, you are, because what's happening is a lot of the immigrants are moving to Ashland also, and you're going to be dealing with the same situation with schools, that you're going to have to build new schools to support them. Natick, not so bad, because Natick is a very expensive town to live in, and there's not a lot of apartments for the illegal immigrants in Natick, as much as there are in Framingham. But Ashland is getting up there, though, I must admit. Ashland is getting a lot of apartments to put all these people in, and it's just getting out of hand there also. So we got some real severe problems here coming up, and those running for mayor in Framingham anyway, all the ones that I mentioned, they're just giving you a story. They're just telling you something that they're tickling your ears. They want you to feel good. They're the feel-good mayoral candidates. They'll say anything to make you feel good, so you vote for them. But the end result is that the citizens of Framingham are going to pay the bill no matter what happens, okay? Because you cannot promise people that taxes are going to go down, and you're going to give all the people in the town all these benefits. You're going to put these parks in, and you're going to put these places for the kids to play, and you're going to do all these things. You can't, because they're going to cost. So obviously, if you want to pay for these things, you're going to have to pay for them. I mean, it's going to come out of your taxes. There's no other place it's going to come out of. And the only people that are going to make out on the deal are going to be the illegal immigrants, whereas you know, people like ourselves, we're going to, you know, we own homes, our taxes will just go up to you know, defer the cost of these things. So it's going to affect us more in some ways. But again, we're getting to the end of our lives here, so that's kind of a, you know, a good thing. You know, 20 more years, 30 more years, you know, that's about it for us. But other than that, the people that are moving into Framingham now, which are a lot of immigrants, a lot of illegal immigrants, you know, unless the town does something to get them to pay for all these services and all the things you're using, which would be great, and I have no problem with that. I just want to make myself clear about the immigrants. My only problem with the immigrants coming in to Framingham, into this country, basically, first of all, they are breaking the law, whether you want to admit it or not. But let's even give that to them, okay? I just don't think that they should be treated any better or worse than us. And if we have to pay for everything, I think they should have to pay for it too. And I think this is where we're getting, you know, cross feelings from these people that are running for office these days, because they want to make it look like that we don't like immigrants. And that's not the case. We people here, mostly that respect law, we're for rule of law. That's what we're for. And we want people to obey the law. If these people don't want to obey the law, then that's really not our problem, even though it becomes our problem because we get to, you know, pay all the bills associated with it. But we just can't see, you know, why should we be discriminated against because we are American citizens, whereas illegal immigrants are just flooding into the country and just getting everything they want. Who are they? I mean, they shouldn't be getting everything they want. They should have to, in some way, pay for the services they get. And that's how I basically feel. If I don't get, you know, a lot of votes, that's just going to show you the condition of the town and how sad of a condition we are in. So, you know, it's going to be very disturbing to see that. But since there's 7 people with me running as a write-in, 8 people running for mayoral candidate in Framingham, the vote is going to be split amongst 8 people. And if we only have 10 people, 10,000, 15,000 people coming out to vote, it's not going to take much to win, okay? So, I mean, 1,000 or 2,000 votes could actually put somebody ahead, you know, in winning this race, especially if all those, you know, people get a lot of the votes distributed amongst themselves. So it's a good thing for me to see if that could happen. But again, I would like to see if there's people out there that are like myself that stand for rule of law in Framingham. I don't know, it just seems like Framingham is so liberal now, and it's run by the Democrats. We only have like 10-20% Republican, conservative type of people in the town, and I even question the Republicans, because I think most of the Republicans are just rhinos and Republican in name only. But there has to be, out of 36,000 people that vote in Framingham, there has to be at least 5 or 10,000 people that have feelings like I do about illegal immigration, what we should be doing about it, how Framingham should be a law-abiding town. I would think they're there somewhere. Hopefully, if they get out and vote, if they see my video here, because Framingham has pretty much cut me off everywhere in getting my views out. So, Ashland is the only station that I'm on that I'm able to talk about some of these things, and I appreciate that. But it's sad that, Framingham, since it's run by the Democrats, and I look at the Democrats in Framingham as pretty close to communist in how they do things, because they don't really stand for rule of law. They're very liberal in how they look at things. That viewpoint is really going to bring Framingham down. So I would hope to see that if people really want to see if we can get Framingham back on track again, hopefully they will vote for me, and they will see that the things that I am saying make sense to make Framingham great again. Just like Trump said about the country, we have to make Framingham great again, and let's see if we can do that. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I want to thank you for watching this. I'm Jim Rizoli, and you can get in touch with me with my email address, and my email address is mrtapman@gmail.com, and you can get in touch with me. My phone number, home phone number, is 508-875-0835, and you can call. If I'm not home, leave a message. I will get back to you happily. And if you want to talk about some of these issues, that would be great also. So that's it, folks. Again, I'm Jim Rizoli. I want to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye now.